it's Nicole. I'm here bringing you another Top 5 Wednesday. If you don't know what Top 5 Wednesday is, it is a group on Goodreads that lists different topics for every Wednesday for you to do your top 5 favorite or least favorite or whatever the topic is for books. And I will link the Goodreads group in the description. Today's Top 5 Wednesday topic is series that got worse with each book/season. So they incorporated TV shows in this as well, but I was able to think of 5 books that I thought got worse. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start at number 5 and work my way down. My number 5 pick is the Others series by Christine Warren. This book series started off as ebooks. They weren't published in paperbacks first. I don't know exactly how many books are in this series. I think it's somewhere in the teens, like 14 or 15. When they were released in paperbacks, they weren't released in the correct chronological order. Like, this book is technically the first book in the series, but it was released 6th, I believe. That kind of made it really hard to follow that way. So I read the first one that was released, like publication date wise, and characters and couples that got together in the first books were already featured, and I'm like, wait, am I missing something? I didn't read those books first, and here they are, these couples are already together, what am I doing? And so I figured out the correct chronological order and the correct publication dates. So it was one of those series where I had to wait until most of the books were out so I can get them all and then read them in order. And when I did it that way, I really enjoyed the series. It's fantasy, paranormal, romance genre. It follows vampires, werewolves, the fae, demons, and it's very unique in that aspect. But yeah, the way whoever was in charge of releasing these books really did not do a good job. So for that aspect, they did get worse as the series went on. Number 4 is the Sookie Stackhouse series. I really enjoyed the first 4 books of the Sookie Stackhouse series. This is book number 4. And I believe it kind of went downhill after that. Number 4 was actually my favorite book in the series, but after that it was kind of like the author was just inventing problems for Sookie, the main character. And introducing new characters halfway through the season isn't really... There's no way that you can connect with those characters, and I didn't care about them at all. I wanted Sookie to be with a certain person, and when they weren't in a relationship, I was kind of just reading the books just to kind of get through them. You know, they did finally get together, and then they broke up, and then in the later books in the series, they got back together, but again, they broke up for a stupid reason, and the last book was terrible. It was just really... I think the author was just really trying to end it, and she did. I mean, who Sookie ended up with and how the story ended, and it was just ridiculous. I was actually glad to see this series end. I think it was 13 books in total, and it should not have been that long. And I guess I could tie in True Blood with this as well. I mean, True Blood was a HBO series that was based on these books, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it, but like I said, after the 4th season, it kind of just went downhill. There were introducing weird characters. They were killing off characters that they had no business killing off. I mean, just to get like drama and ratings, they were just killing off characters. We're like, okay, that was random. Why did that happen? Or turning certain characters into vampires when they really didn't have a certain storyline to begin with, just to give them a storyline and give them more airtime. I thought that was kind of ridiculous. But don't get me wrong, I love that show. I watched all 7 seasons, and the 7th season was probably the worst, and I did not like how it ended. Number 3 is the Witches of East End series by Melissa De La Cruz. I started reading these books after I watched the Lifetime series. I absolutely love that show. I love the actors that were in it. And so when I found out it was a book series, I immediately went out and bought the first book, and I started reading it, and I hated it. It was nothing like the show, and it's probably one of the few adaptations that I love the movie/show more than I like the books. And The only thing that was the same is the character names. I don't know, the show was just so interesting, and then that got canceled after the second season, and I was very upset with that. But I really, after reading this first book, I had no desire to read the second book. Number 2 is the Beautiful Creatures series by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. There's really nothing to say. I really just did not like this series. I mean, when I read the synopsis, I thought the premise was awesome. I mean, witches going through a claiming, and their soul is either taken for the light or the dark, and they really have no control over it. You see one character who she's been good her entire life. You know, she was scared of the claiming because she didn't want to be bad, and the claiming happened and she did end up being bad, and it totally changed her personality. The premise just seemed really amazing. So I started reading this book. The first one was okay. I mean, I kind of know with debut authors and debut series, you kind of have to get through the first book. Just because, you know, you're introducing a lot of characters, you're trying to get the plot and the story going, so you kind of have to just learn their universe and learn all the characters and get to know them. So usually in a series, the second and third books are better just because you've already connected with the group, you know the story, and so it's just progressing. But that's not what happened with this book series. It was just meh, you know, it really wasn't, it didn't get above and beyond. I did finish the book series. There was 4, and honestly, I remember the first one probably the most. I don't even remember how the 4th book ended, to tell you the truth, or how it began, or what even happened to the characters in this story. It was a book club pick, and it was just me trying to get through this book, trying to get through this series just to finish it. And I think this is, for my book club, this book is when we implemented voting on series. Like, we have to actually all together want to read the series if a book that is picked is a part of a series. If you can hear that, but it just seems like there's people right outside my house just talking very loudly, and they won't move. It's very annoying. Anyway, yeah, didn't really like this book. And number 1 on my list is the Shiver Trilogy by Maggie Stiefvater. I have talked about this book in past videos. I honestly couldn't tell you who the main character was. Don't remember her name, his name, whoever was in it. Don't remember the plot. No, I just know it has werewolves in it. And that should probably tell you that I had no interest in those books. Again, they were another book club pick, and it was just me reading it to get through it. So that's all for me. Those are my top 5 picks for series that got worse with each book/season. Don't forget to like my video if you did, and subscribe to my channel, and you can follow me on Goodreads, Instagram, and Twitter. If you're a top 5 Wednesdayer and already did your video, please link your video in the comments. I would love to watch it, and tell me what top 5 books that you have for series that got worse with each season/book. Until next time, avid readers.